Now we'll talk about controlling sound with buttons. If you're following along, I'm working in 04_controlling_sound.fla in the Chapter 14 folder in the Exercise Files folder. In this file, there are 3 layers: action, sound, and button. The timeline for the sound layer is extended for the length of the sound. That's about 400 frames. The timeline for the button layer is extended that long as well. The button layer holds 2 buttons. The play button has an instance name of play_btn, and the stop button has an instance name of stop_btn. Let's see what's already written in the actions layer. Select the first keyframe of the actions layer and open the actions panel. This code may look really familiar to you. This is the same code that we use to stop and play an animation using buttons. Because we've already talked about how this code works, I won't go into it in detail. Just know that the stop button stops the timeline and the play button plays the timeline or resumes playing the timeline. Let's close the actions panel, and then we'll test the movie to preview the animation. Command Return on the Mac, Control Enter on the PC. Click the stop button and notice that the sound doesn't stop. Let's close this window and see what's wrong. In Flash, there are actually different types of sounds. Let's select the first keyframe of the sound layer and take a look in the Property Inspector. On the right side of the Property Inspector are some properties for sounds. What we want to take a look at here is the sync area. Notice that it says Event right now. Let's click that drop down and talk about the different types of sounds in Flash. Notice there are 4 different types here. The event type of sound is the default Flash sound. An event sound will play whenever the playhead reaches the keyframe that holds that sound. That means if a sound is not complete, it will loop over itself. For example, if you had 2 frames on the main timeline and a 30-second sound, and you tested the animation, every time the playhead got back to frame 1, the sound would start over again. And so you get the effect of the sound layering on top of itself. Start sounds work like event sounds, except with start sounds, the sound won't loop over itself. So it won't play again unless the sound is already finished playing in its entirety. Stop stops the sound, and stream is the option we want to use here. Stream syncs a sound with the timeline and is ideal for syncing a sound to an animation. If, for example, the person viewing the movie can't download frames of the animation fast enough to accommodate the playback of the sound or the speed of the sound, the Flash player deletes frames of animation. So what we're going to do is choose the stream option here. So then when we stop the playback of the movie, it will also stop the playback of the sound. Press Command Return on the Mac or Control Enter on the PC to test the movie, and make sure to click the stop button to stop the sound. When you click the stop button, the sound stops, and when you click the play button, the sound plays. Let's close that window, and there's a look at how to control sound using buttons.